Hey y'all, Brett here from IBM Engineering, and today I'm going to show you all how to use our Engineering Lifecycle Management Labs from our Learn at IBM platform. To start, simply open up a web browser. Google Chrome and Firefox work best. Safari tends to have some issues. Navigate to learn.ibm.com, and once this loads, we will be greeted by this screen. Click on Login with IBM ID. If you do not have an IBM ID, you will need to make one, and I will run us through that process. Since I don't have an IBM ID, I will click on Create an IBM ID located in the bottom middle of the screen. Once this loads, I will input an email address. For this example, I will use brett@thebarbot.com. You can also autofill with LinkedIn if you would like to, but just going through the motions, I will type in my first name, my last name, and then I will type in a password. The passwords here use all of the standard information between 8 to 63 characters, one uppercase, one lowercase, one number. It's got to be decently strong, and special characters are optional. Then I will click on Next, put in my company name. If you do not have a company, no worries, you can just put in whatever that you want to here. And I will click on Next, and it will send a verification email. And I will show you all what that email will look like on my phone in just a second. Here, we are greeted by a code. That code in this situation is 518437 Once we have the code, we will need to click on Create Account. Feel free to read through all this information here, but just in the essence of time, I will click on Proceed. It will take just 1 second to create our account. Now we are on the screen. After we create our account, it's going to ask us to read the privacy notice for IBM training. Feel free to read this if you want to, but I'm just going to go down to the bottom here and click on Proceed. Now that our screen has loaded, we need to click on IBM Training. Once we click on that, we will be taken to another screen where we need to go over in the top of the search bar and click on Search. This will take just a second to load, and what we're going to do is we're going to search Engineering Lifecycle Management, and we can type in the word Quick Start after it. This will take just 1 second to load, and now we have a course, Quick Starts, IBM Engineering Lifecycle Management Quick Tour. I suggest to add this course to your favorites and then click on the course itself. This will take just 1 second to load, and now we need to go through the process to open up the lab itself. And to do that, you can start clicking through the blocks here. I suggest taking a look at and reading about what IBM Engineering Lifecycle Management is, and to illustrate that, I'll simply click on that. Feel free to read this blurb right here, but I'm just going to click on Next. It will take us to the next section in the lab, and that will be regarding the request to launch the Quick Start lab environment. Come down here and select your appropriate region. Since I'm based in Atlanta, I will click on US Central. This will take just 1 second to load. And once it does, we will be greeted by the next screen where we can launch the lab environment. This box right here, if you have an ad blocker on your browser, I suggest you turn that off. Sometimes it will not show up because of that. But since it says ready to provision, I will click on launch, and this will take a minute or so, and I will be back once this is launched. Now we're back since the lab has loaded, and this window will appear. Click on Open Lab. This will take 1 second to bring us to the next place. And on the right hand side of the window here, we will have a whole bunch of labs that we can look into. But we want to launch the virtual machine, and to do that, click on the virtual machine name, and in this instance, that is IBM Win 12. We will click on that. It will take just 1 second to load, and we can click the miss right here. And another thing that we can do is that if this window pane over here is in your way, you can click on the gear icon and click on Collapse. To get this window to come back, simply click on Expand. But for now, we are going to hide it. This is the screen we are greeted by, and we need to log in. To do that, simply I click and I drag. And then it will take just 1 second for this page to load. And now we are greeted by a place where we have to enter the password. IBM made it as easy as possible for y'all to enter in the passwords. And to do that, come up here to this key icon that is in the middle top of the screen. Then when you mouse over it, it says credentials. Click on that, and you can click the eyeball to show the password. But what is even easier is that if you click on the insert button located to the right of the eyeball, the password will automatically be populated down below, and then we will just need to click on the arrow button or hit enter to return to the next screen. Now we are using the virtual machine, and it will take just 1 second to load. And to access the labs itself, simply open up Google Chrome located at the bottom. It will take just 1 second to load up, and we can see we have everything at the top of here. You can access all the specific labs, anything that you really want to find, you can find here very easily and very quickly. Now, I'm going to show you all how to properly shut down and suspend the virtual machine. To do that, in this menu bar, we will have the pause button. I suggest clicking on suspend this VM. If you do not do that and you X out of the browser tab at the top, sometimes some funky things can happen where you'll get error messages when you try to load up the virtual machine during the next instance. So I highly suggest that you click that pause button just to suspend the virtual machine. Another thing to take note of is that this virtual machine will expire in a few weeks. Right now it's September 10th and it's going to expire on November 9th, so you have typically roughly about a month to use the virtual machine before you will need to request a new one. When you request a new virtual machine, all the data and information and changes that you made regarding this virtual machine will not be saved. So please keep in mind that these virtual machines are used for training purposes only, and any data that is stored on them will automatically be deleted once the URL expires. This will take just 1 second to shut down, and we will be back when it is done. On this screen, we can now see that the virtual machine has been suspended and is ready to be launched again. Headed back to the start of things, we can click on Back to IBM Engineering Lifecycle Management, and we can click on Go to My Learning in the top right-hand screen, and this will take a second just to load, and since we favorited the course, everything is located conveniently right here for us. So today, I showed you all a quick tutorial on how to use our Learn at IBM platform. If you have any other questions, please feel free to check out other videos on this page or reach out.